Malcolm, I'm a huge fan of yours ever since Breakout Kings, which you've
Oh,
also worked with Nick
oh
on that
yeah.
show. Can you tell me about how you got involved in this project?
Oh yeah. Well, thank you for that, man. Yeah, Breakout Kings hold that close to my heart. That was my first um, television show as a series regular ever. So that's awesome. Yeah, I got involved through auditioning, But Nick did tell me about it a few when I was working on iZombie. But you never know how schedules is going to
Yeah, yeah.
line up. And he said there may be possibly something in here for you, but we don't know how things would turn out. And uh, got lucky. It worked out. I was available at the timing. The audition came, went through a testing process, and
What was one of the most interesting things that intrigued you about the script?
the detail. I love the details of the characters. These aren't just mustache twirling bad guys.
Yeah.
All of our protagonists are they all have backstories. And I love Finley's backstory. He could just be a chief detective, but there's a whole life that he has, and that informs the way he is. That informs the stick up his butt. As Nick would say. So it's even with Roscoe and the other characters. So I like that all the characters are multi-layered.
One of my favorite things about the show is the back and forth you had with Reacher. What do you think? Finley is annoyed about that Reacher, just gets on how he gets under his skin. What's the one thing that really annoys him?
I think he knows Reacher's right. He knows what Reacher says makes sense, but this is his case.
Mhm.
This is his case. And so while he's right, he also feels like it also undermines his authority because Finley has something to prove here in Margrave. And this is also the first murder in 20 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And it happened on his watch. And he's new to this job. And so while he's, I think, upset about that, he's still focused on proving that he's qualified to solve these murders. And then while solving it, he got the person who's accused of it trying to solve it too. It's like, give me a break.
Do you feel like Reacher that Finley is a little relieved that Reacher is on his side, considering his current employees under him?
Yeah, eventually. I think he eventually grows to be happy that okay, we're on the same side here. We're on the same team here.
Now, can we discuss? You were fully suited up like majority of the series, and I can only imagine how uncomfortable that was. Also filming like all these action scenes, and you're seeing your counterpart Reacher as just wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Can you explain like the whole how it felt like trying to do all this stuff and being fully suited up?
Yes, it was literally tailored to my measurements at that time. Yeah, to my measurements. So it was, but I liked it because it was snug. It was a snug fit. It was tight, and Finley is a tightly wound character, so it actually helped me to stay connected and keep that energy.
Were there specific things in Finley's story arc that you hope that we get to expand on maybe in the future?
Yeah, his backstory, which you find out later on in the series, which answers a lot of questions of why he is the way he is and why he arrived to Margrave. He can just retire. He's been on the Boston PD for 20 years, and why he doesn't do that, and why he left Boston in the first place. So I thought his backstory. There's way more. There's a lot to explore there, but I love how detailed it was and how thorough it was and how emotional it was at some points.
Now, how was it working with Alan? I know, as we've seen him in other things, he plays a little bit more of a straight character here. How was it working with him and trying to bounce things off of him?
It was great. It was great. I mean, I feel like he made me a better artist, actor, and just to see his commitment. I mean, I'm telling you, this dude will have these days of massive pages and off book, doesn't miss a single word, a single moment, while working out in the process, between takes. and then having to eat a table full of just meat while I sip my tea, a coffee. I mean, it was amazing. He made it look like he made it look so easy, and while doing a lot of his own stunts, and never complained once. Just was there and just made it look so easy. But I think he led the charge in terms of everyone bringing their A game.
Now you got in the show, you got to do a lot of some serious scenes and a little bit of action. Which ones did you enjoy filming the most?
I mean, it's always. I mean, who doesn't love action, man? There's a. I don't know how much you've seen, but there are a couple of action sequences that I'm just like I had to pinch myself. Like I'm like I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe that's me. I yeah. So it was the action sequences, and it was also there was a couple of them. There was a couple of there's so many scenes with Alan that I loved. But there's a moment in there in the series where we really connect,
Yeah.
and
I,
we drop out veils, and that was actually a great day. It felt like it was happening in real life,
yeah.
between us personally, because in that scene, it was just amazing. We talk about that all the time.